How was your Saturday? Good evening. Hi, Srikant. Hi, Prasad, Geeta, Kalyani. Nice to see you here. Nice. How was my day? Yeah, today um, it was nice. I played cricket today and had some, yeah, I skipped. I don't watch movies. I don't like watching movies. Waste of time in my, yeah. Okay. All right. So, um, what did we discuss in our last class? Elastic cache. Okay, nice. Okay, nice. So as I think we have Saturday, so people. Okay, fine. So guys, what I have is in my mind today. I thought to take DynamoDB, right? So as I told you, there are a couple of things that mostly developers services like DynamoDB and all. So I would like also today to take one small service which is related to developer, which is SQS. Should we talk about SQS a bit? Anyone worked on queue services before? Developers like RabbitMQ, ActiveMQ, Kafka, etc. Anyone over here? Does anyone know about that? No one? Okay. Okay. So, okay then. So in that case, let us talk also, this is like about, you will get a couple of questions also on this SQS. Let us talk on that way. Okay. Nice. Of course, you will not be working on this SQS, but at least you should know at least what is SQS and what it does, etc., etc. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let's talk about SQS. So, I don't like to go with the PPTs. Let's go ahead here. Okay. Let me fix this first. Okay, so today's topic is SQS. What is the SQS? Simple queue service. What's that? Simple queue service. Okay, so let us talk about this SQS. So before talking to the SQS, as I told you in our initial classes, it's all about producer and consumer concept. Okay, let me give an example on why we need all these things. So let's say this is the producer, for example, and this is the consumer. Let's say we have producer. Guys, I'll tell you what is producer. So producer meaning who produce the data. Producer meaning who produce the data. That can be producer. Producer meaning who produce the data, and consumer meaning who consume anything. It can be an application, it can IoT service, or it can be an EC2 instance. Anything which produce data is called a producer. And anything which takes that data and consume it and process it and put it in the backend is called consumer, producer and consumer. So it is all about sending the data messages from one place to another place, from producer to consumer, right? Okay, for example, guys, let's say, guys, we will be having multiple producers and we'll be having multiple consumers. Let's say here we'll have something called consumer one, consumer two, consumer three, like this. We'll be having multiple consumers. For example, let's say this consumer has a capacity of taking 50 messages per second. How much? This consumer has a capacity of taking, for example, 50 messages per second. This consumer has a capacity to take 50 messages per second. Let's say this guy producer all of a sudden sent 1,000 messages at once. 1,000 messages per second. So this consumer sent 1,000 messages per second. What will happen to the consumer? Will able to consume those messages, guys? Yes or no? Will it be able to consume the messages? Definitely no, because this has a capacity of taking only 50 messages per second. And then if the producer, guys, producer doesn't care about the consumer. Producer job is to only produce the data, only producing the data. And consumer is to consume the data. And producer don't care that consumer is properly consuming or not, or a consumer is able to consume or not, he don't care. So producer will always send the messages to it. So if the this is called, if the producer is directly sending the messages to consumer, this is called synchronous communication. What is that? Synchronous communication. This is called synchronous communication, guys. Synchronous communication meaning directly producer is talking to the consumer, right? So definitely, if sometimes producer sends a lot of messages, consumer could not consume it, and then you might lose the data there. You might lose the data. What happened? What it be like if there is something called a temporary repository here, where I'll ask producer to send the messages inside this temporary place, like this, and consumer will consume the data from that place, right? So guys, and that temporary location, this temporary repository is called it as queue. This temporary repository is called it as queue. Now the producer is not directly dependent on the consumer. Producer will send inside this queue, and the consumer will, guys, important, the consumer will pull the data. Consumer will pull the message and it will consume, and it will set it, input it into some database or something. Here in this repository, in this queue concept, is it synchronous communication is asynchronous, guys? It is definitely asynchronous. No, it is not like the cache. Forget about the cache. This is asynchronous communication. Yeah. It is not like cache, but it is a repository where you can put all the messages there, guys. And this is called the queue. This temporary repository is called the queue. This temporary repository, as we call it as, guys, queue. Okay. This queue, basically, if you want to, the examples of the queues are like, there are many softwares available for the queue service. So if I go and then put it in like, queue queue services. So we got it as queue software. All right. So there are different, see, this is a message queues, for example, message queues. Okay, we have something called MuleSoft, IBM MQ, right? Azure Scheduler, Apache Kafka, in Google Cloud, RabbitMQ, Apache ActiveMQ, ZeroMQ, Amazon MQ, CubeMQ, right? Guys, there are so many softwares available for the queue service, for this queue. But if you want to use those queues, you need to set up a server, you need to install that, and handling the servers in your on premises is tedious or not. You need to take care of high availability, you need to take care of like elasticity, scalability, space issues, storage issues, all kind of issues they will get it. But how it would be like, these queues repositories are handled by AWS. Yes. Now this, you no need to handle it by yourself. There is a concept in AWS called SQS, Simple Queue Service, SQS, which handles this queue system. So you no need to go for the third party software. You can go to SQS, and everything is self-managed by AWS. You just need to create the queue and start that details, give the details to the developer, and he will start sending the messages to the queue, and his consumer as an application will be consuming that messages and put it in the database. Guys, if you're still confused about the queues, why it is used for and all, let's say, for example, I'll take my real-time scenario in my company. I used to, my company deal with big ships in the oceans. And just imagine how much of data you will be getting it from the ship to analyze the data. If you take a small car itself, right? How much fast the car is going, how much fuel it is consuming, and how fuel, what is the mileage, what is the air pressure, what is the tire pressure, what is the engine details, guys. You have so many details here. Just imagine we have a ship, and ships, we put some sensor in the ships, and it will collect the data from the ship, and it will send it to us. How to get all these messages, whatever the messages that is sent by the sensor in the ship, from the ship, how does we get it? Can we directly, is it possible to directly put it on database? There is no mechanism. Your application should be putting in the database. There is no mechanism. Without a proper application, you cannot write it in database. For that reason, you get all the messages, inside the queue, and then that queues will be consumed by your application. Your application will go inside the queue, get the data, process it, and put it in the database. You got it? And also, I'll give another example. We have a weather. We deal with something called, guys, voice optimization, and many things that we do. On land, we have how GPRS, right? On sea or oceans also, ships will travel using the route, basically. So if you want to go from Singapore to some port, Mumbai or something, we develop a software where it shows the route, and that route should be that route should be very calm and safe, and you should not have any cyclones inside that, and you should not get any whirlpools, or you should not get any nasty things there. So we get, how do you identify this weather details on the sea, or on the ocean? So there are companies where they'll get the information through the satellites, all this weather information, right? Using that weather information, we get all this weather information inside these queues, and then we'll process that weather information according to what we need, and we'll put it in the database, and that will be accessed by the captains in the ships. So see, this is why the queues will be useful. Is it possible that directly the satellite is sending direct to your application? Possible? Definitely not, right? There should be a place in between that is called queues. Do you understand, guys, the concept of the queues? Everyone, is that clear? Nice. I completely understand, guys. I completely understand that you are not from developer background, but we have to develop this kind. We need to learn this kind of things also, because it might be asked in the certifications. Yeah. Nice. So the certification question here is, guys, consumer is pushing the data or pulling the messages? It is pushing the message or pulling the messages? Pull, right? This is the first certification question that you will be learning here. SQS is pull-based system. SQS is pull-based system. How about SNS? SNS is push or pull? Excellent. I'm just putting it here also for you. SNS is push based system. Can you call this queue is a temporary repository? Yes or no? This queue is a temporary repository, right? And also, guys, can you tell me if the consumer pulls the message from the queue and if it consume it, will it delete the messages from the queue? Yes, definitely. Otherwise, it will consume. There will be a chances of consuming 2 times, right? Yeah. So keep this in mind, guys. SQS is a temporary repository for the messages to get processed by the consumer. All right. Okay. So once the consumer is consumed, once the consumer consumes the message will be deleted from the queue. Make sense? Nice. So guys, there are 2 types of queues in AWS. In SQS concept, there are 2 types of queues, guys. 2 types of queues. 2 types of queues. One is called standard queue, and the another one we call it as FIFO queue. Have you heard about FIFO queue? FIFO? At least that's FIFO. First in, first out. FIFO queue. Okay. Let's talk the characteristics of standard queue, guys. So whenever you create any queue in SQS, default queue is standard queue. The default queue is standard queue. So standard queues are default queues. Standard queues are default queues and process nearly unlimited number of transactions per second. Guys, it's process nearly unlimited number of transactions here. And also, guys, there is a possibility if you use standard queue, there is a possibility of delivering the messages twice. I'll tell you why. Okay, now you tell me, guys, here, concentrate. Let's say this message, whatever the message, this message is consumed. It's pulled and it is consumed by C3, consumer 3. Can you tell me, guys, here, when the consumer is consuming the message should be visible inside the queue? When it is consuming, it should be visible inside the queue? Definitely it should not be visible. If that is visible, another consumer will pick up, na? Right? So guys, and that will be is invisible mode. So that is what that is called, we call it as here visibility timeout. What is that? Visibility timeout. What is that concept called? Visibility timeout. By default, visibility timeout is 60 seconds. Sorry, 30 seconds. So consumer will have time to consume the message within 30 seconds by default. So guys, if for due to some XYZ reasons, if the consumer is not able to consume it within the 30 seconds, the message will be again visible inside the queue. The message will be again visible inside the queue. Okay, in that process, due to some XYZ reasons, guys, if these messages might have consumed already, and consumer 1 might have processed this already, and due to some XYZ reasons, some problems, again this message will appear here, and C3 will consume it again, and it will put the same data again. So there is a possibility of having duplicate data, duplicate messages. Yes. So definitely, if we use this standard queues, guys, there is a possibility of having the duplicate message. Because if this timeout happens, if this consumer one might have, any consumer might have any problem, this message will be again pushed back again to the queue, and that key, the message will be again consumed by some other consumer. Due to this kind of things, there will be a duplicate messages are possible. Duplicate messages are possible. That meaning single that meaning single message can be delivered twice. Single message can be delivered twice, guys. And also, there is no order, guys. Whenever you send any message, whenever the producer send any messages, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't come in order, right? There is no order inside this queue. But guys, it will put best, it will put best efforts to put it in order, but no guarantee. There is no guarantee on this. And also, messages are delivered at least once. That meaning there is a possibility of sending message, delivering twice also. Messages are delivered at least once. Coming to FIFO, guys, what is the full form of FIFO? First in, first out. Whoever comes in, yeah, whoever comes in, that will exit out. So if it is FIFO queue, guys, I'm telling there are two types of queue, standard queue and FIFO queue. These are all the details about the standard queue. Inside the FIFO queue, guys, inside the FIFO queue, if the data, if message enters with the name called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, will there be any misorder there? No, definitely there will be an order. And also, it is not unlimited transactions per second. It is 300 transactions per second with high throughput. With high throughput. It will take, guys, it will take 300 message transactions per second, but it gives a super high throughput. But whereas in standard queues, it is nearly unlimited number of transactions. Is it possible to have duplicate messages inside this queue? Are not allowed. It is strictly not allowed. This, if you don't want to have a duplicate messages, so which queues that you would prefer to go? FIFO. And then definitely there is a strict order, because it is FIFO. Whichever comes first, and that will go out first. And messages are delivered exactly once. Messages are delivered exactly once. Is this clear, guys? Still here, everyone? The differences between standard queues and FIFO queues? Thank you for putting efforts to understand this. Good. Okay, sir, you told once consumer consumes message, then it will be deleted, right? Then how come duplicate messages? That's what I say. So here, if this consumer, let's say for example, consumer one is consuming this message, okay, whenever it is consuming, due to some, guys, consumer is nothing but an application, na? There might be a issues with the application also, right? Might be some network issues, application issues, some kind of issue, problem. It has consumed little bit, and then it might have exceeded this visibility timeout, and this message will be available visible here. Meanwhile, whenever it is visible here, another consumer will take the same message and will consume it. So consumer one, consumer two consumes might be the same message. Due to some problems, it is not all the time, but there is a possibility of having duplicate message. Not all the time. There is possibility of having it. But if it is within the visibility timeout, if it is consumed completely, then it will be deleted from the queue. But if due to some XYZ reasons, if it's not consuming it, then other consumer will consume that also there. Geeta, is that clear? Nice. Okay, so now let us learn a bit here about some what do you call some properties. Okay, we just discussed about the visibility timeout, right? For everything, there is a minimum and maximum values, guys. So you will get some certification questions here. Visibility timeout. What is the default visibility timeout? How much? 30 seconds. Minimum should be 0 seconds, and maximum is 12 hours. How much time you can give to the consumer to consume it? Maximum 12 hours. And then we have a concept called message retention period. Message retention period, guys. So message retention period, meaning if the consumer is not consuming it message, how long that message will be available inside the queue? Default days. Minimum 1 minute and maximum is 14 days. That's a retention. What is the minimum value, guys? It will be there for 1 minute. Maximum is 14 days. You can keep it. And by default, it will be there for 4 days. And also message size, maximum size. Maximum message size is 156 KB. How much? 256 KB. And also you have a concept called receive message wait time. Guys, receive message wait time. Receive message wait time meaning, let's say I give the example. See this. Let's say I told Ram, hey Ram, there is a guy who is coming from let's say from Mumbai, and he will get down in Amirpet metro station. So can you get him exactly at 9 o'clock? He will be there at 9 o'clock. So what the Ram will do is Ram will go exactly at 9 o'clock and see no one is there, and then he'll come back. And I told Prasad that, hey Prasad, someone is coming, go at 9 o'clock and pick him up. And what he do is Prasad, he will go exactly at 9 o'clock and he'll wait for some time. And then once a person arrives, and he'll get that person. Which one do you prefer, Rams or Prasad? Prasad, obviously. So here also the same concept. Receive message wait time is here. So this consumer, this question. So, sir, if message is in retention period, then another message will wait until the message is consumed. Another message will wait until the message is consumed. No, no, it will consume it. It will consume it. So here we have a concept of called short polling and long polling. Short polling meaning this consumer will go inside the queue and see whether there is a message or not, and if there is no message, he'll come back immediately. Whereas long polling, if you assign long polling, so your consumer will go to the queue and it will wait until the message arrives, and then it will come back with the message. But here, how long it will wait? Maximum 20 seconds it can wait for long polling. This is called short polling and long polling, guys. Short polling and long polling. Which one do you prefer, short polling or long polling? That is the certification questions again. That is a certification question. Good. And we have a concept called delivery delay. Delivery delay. So delivery delay meaning by default minimum is again 0 seconds and maximum is 15 minutes. See, delivery delay meaning guys, the producer send messages to the consumer. Sir, noise is coming. Is this clear, my voice? Is there any noise from me? Background noise? No. Clear, right? Yeah. Okay. Check your side, Srikanth. Yeah. Okay. Delivery delay. Delivery delay meaning, guys, delivery delay meaning here, if the producer sends any messages to the consumer, for how long it should wait, for how long it should wait, or how long it should not be available to the consumer to pick it up. If it is available, if the message is available to the consumer, product, it will pick it up. And if you want to wait, if you want to delay the delivery of the message, and how much maximum time you can wait it? 15 minutes. You can send a message and the message can be here 15 minutes, that is not visible to any consumers. That is called here delivery delay. Guys, is this clear till here, everyone? Okay. And here now we have a concept called DLQ. What is that? DLQ. DLQ meaning dead letter queue. What is that concept? Dead letter queue. A dead letter queue meaning, for example, there is a producer and there is a consumer. Producer and consumer, guys. This is producer and this is consumer. In between, what will be there? Queue will be there. Okay. What is there inside the queue? Messages. Messages. Okay. See here, guys. See here. So now producer sends the messages to the queue, right? And what does this consumer will pick up? Consumer will pick up. Okay, let's say I'll put it. So consumer will pick up the message. Consumer will pick up the message. Really? My speaker problem? Why all of a sudden? How about now? Okay, nice. It's good, right? Okay, good one. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, so so this consumer will pull the message and will consume it. Guys, sometimes if the messages are, if the consumer is not able to consume the message, will it be visible again inside the queue? Yes, it will be visible inside the queue, right? Yes. Okay. Next time again, this consumer will pull this and then it'll try to consume. Due to some XYZ reasons, again it not consume. Again it will put it inside the message. So guys, again it will try to get it, and it could not due to some XY reason. Again it will put back to the message. How long? How long will you do? Will the consumer will do like this? You can specify. You can specify. That is called here redrive policy. What is that called? Redrive policy. If you set the redrive policy, for example, can if there is something problem with the messages, the consumer will try to consume one time and it'll put it back again. Second time it'll consume it problem and put it back in. How many times it will retry it? 5 times it will retry it. 5 time retries. And 1,000, I think 1,000 times you can maximum do a retries. Right? Okay. Let's say after 5, okay, it tries for 5 times, and after 5 time, after 5th time, what will happen? After fifth time, is that good to keep that message inside the queue? Definitely no. What we do is we'll take those kind of problematic messages, and if that message has reached that the retry policy threshold value, I'll send that to another queue called dead letter queue. It's a name. It's just a name. We call it as DLQ. All kind of all kind of problematic messages is based on the retry policy threshold value. If it is not consumed, and all these kind of problematic messages will be pushed into the separate queue, and that queue is called dead letter queue. Is this clear? Guys, is this clear? Everyone till here, guys? This is about SQS. This is about SQS. So should I show you small demo on this? How does the queue looks like and all? Yeah. Grab my phone. Okay, so let's go to SQS. Simple queue service. Okay, so see guys, there's nothing directly you have to go and create a queue. Let's see how this works. This is what we have discussed. See, we have the producer concept and consumer concept. Producer and consumer. What the producer will do, producer messages are sent from application microservices or other AWS services. It sends to this SQS. What is there inside the SQS? A queue will be there. What is that queue meaning? Queue stores messages and wait for the consumer to poll it. And what are the consumers? Consumers are processed by applications, Lambda functions, EC2 instances, any AWS service or any service. It will pull the message, or it will poll the message, and it will consume it and it will process it. This is how the SQS works. Any comparison between SQS and both are earth and sky difference. So guys, SQS is used for the queues thing. What is SNS is used for? Sending the notifications, emails, sending the notifications only, na? Right? There is no comparison between SQS and SNS. Both are messages related only, but the thing is, this is pull based and SNS is push based. Yeah. So let's create a queue. Let's see guys here. So there is option only to create a queue here. Did we discuss this? We have two types of queues called FIFO queue and standard queue and FIFO queue. So which queue there is a possibility of duplicate values? Standard or FIFO? Standard. Which one is exactly once processing only? FIFO. Which one will put best effort of ordering but not guaranteed? Standard. Standard. Which one is at least once delivery? At least once. At least once. I'm not saying exactly once. At least once. At least meaning standard. See, this is standard. At least once delivery, best effort ordering, and FIFO is first in, first out delivery, exactly once processing. Exactly once processing. Okay. So by default, it is standard queues are created, selected. That's why it's called as default queue. And I'll give a name called my first queue. You just give a name, my first queue. Let's see. Did we discuss all this visibility timeout? How much minimum and maximum values? 0 and 12 hours, and message detention period, delivery delay, maximum message size, right? And receive message wait time, like short polling, long polling, etc. All these things. Both are charged same. There will be, but it's very, very negligible. Very, very negligible. But standard queues will come for free tier, and FIFO will not come as a free tier. But there is, you can have, oh my god, it's very, if you want to see the pricing of SQS pricing. It is very cheap, basically, very cheap. See here, pricing. If you select Mumbai, here see, for first 1 million request, it is free. And 1 million to 100 billions, 1 million to 100 billion, right? And it charges 0.40 per 1 million. Just imagine how cheap it is, guys. Those who asked, Harsha, yeah. Okay, so guys, these configurations you can do this based on your requirement here. And access policy, you select the basic, and who can send the messages to the queue, and who should receive messages to the queue. So you can mention that you are the only owner that you should be receiving it. And encryption is optional. Tags you can put. Dead letter I'll show you quickly. Guys, do you see, is there anything else on the queue to create it, guys, here? No, it's very simple to go and create it. And rest everything is completely managed by AWS, guys. Completely managed by AWS. Let's see. So I'll click on create queue. See, my queue is created. See, my first queue is created. What you can do, you can edit, you can delete, and you can subscribe, and you can send and receive messages for this queue. Usually, applications will be producers, guys. This is programmatically here. The producers will be sending the messages to the consumers. But I don't have application it here manually here. See, send and receive message. Should we send a message inside to the queue here, guys? Yes. If you want here, send and receive message. So here I hello. You can put any message. Do you remember wait time, delivery delay? We discussed. If you want to you want to delay this delivery, you can maximum go for 15 minutes. This is for sending a message, and this is for receiving the message. So I'm sending the message here. See, send. Message sent. I'm sending second message. Sent. Third message. Sent. Fourth message. Sent. Fifth message. Sent. Let's say I sent how many messages, guys? 5 messages I have sent it here. Come back, refresh it. And how many messages are there? Did I send 4 or 5? Yeah, 5. Where is your chart? 5. So usually applications will be sending that messages to the queue, but I have sent it here for to do some little bit of testing. So if you go inside the queue, so guys here, this is the URL that or this is the URL that you should give it to the developer. This will be automatically generated. This is the URL that you should give it to the developer, guys. Okay. And now see here, send and receive the messages. So let's go there, and I have sent. Should I receive the message, guys? See how many messages are available? 5 messages are available. So I'll poll for the message here. See, poll it. See, I'm receiving the messages. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. 5 messages I have got it. So this is the first message. Let's see what is that message we have. Okay, this is the first message we have it. And second message, nice. Third, 5th. Do you see that order is gone here now? Guys, order is gone. This is the characteristics of this standard queues. So it will try to put the best effort of ordering and write, but maximum it will try to put the order, but sometimes the order will be missed. See, now I have polled it, guys. So I have polled the messages. If all the messages are consumed, meaning I need to delete all these things, right? If you delete it, that meaning, guys, it is consumed. If you delete it, that meaning consumed. Actually, your applications will be consuming it, and then it will put it. Receive count is 2. I'll explain that also. So guys, do you understood this here, how to create a queues and how to send and receive the messages? Nice. What all you can do, guys, here is SNS subscription. You can subscribe to SNS topic, and if you developers want to send any, if you want to do any Lambda invoking, you can trigger the Lambda, and I'll talk about dead letter queue now. Monitoring, who can access this? You can write a policy here, tagging, and you can enable the encryption. Nothing else. It's everything is completely managed. So what you need to do as an architect, as a thing, you should know what is this queues used for, and then how to set up the keys, how to set up the queues, and you have to give this URL to the customer, to the this guy, to the developers. Okay. Now I created the first queue. Now let me create another queue, guys. Let's create a dead letter queue. Dead letter queue is normal. It's a normal queue. We give it as a name. That's all. So what I do is here now, I'll create another queue. I call it as. So I'll create DL queue, dead letter queue. Okay. I'll just create a dead letter queue here. So this meaning this will be used for my dead letter, all kind of issued, all kind of problematic messages. So I'll create another queue called my second queue. Okay, my second queue here. If you come down in this dead letter queue, you enable it here, and which is, see here, this is the DL queue, existing resource. So, and maximum receives, I'll put 5. So that meaning that is our retry policy. That is our retry policy there. Retry policy meaning what? So if there is any problem, if I pull the messages for 5 times, and it is not consumed, it's not deleted from the queue automatically, and that meaning all these problematic messages will be pushed inside this DL queue. Should I test that for you? Let's test that. See here, guys. So I'll send the messages to my second queue here. Send messages. I call it as, okay. I'll send hello there. I'm sending the messages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I sent how many messages to this queue, guys? 5 messages. 5 messages, I got it. Yeah, and go inside this. Now, I'll go to send and receive. I'm receiving the messages. See here, I'll poll it now. What is the receive count now? How many times I am polling now? Only 1 times I polled. So if it is properly consumed, meaning it should be deleted. If it is deleted, it is consumed. So I have not consumed this, and I'll try to stop polling, and I'll try to poll once again. What is the receive count now? 2. Due to some problem, again it is not consumed. I'm stopping it, and I'm polling it again. What's the receive count now? 3. Stop. Poll. Stop. Poll. So guys, now receive count is 5. What is our redrive number we have given? 5 only, right? Now if I stop it, if I poll again, what will happen? No messages now. Can you tell me where are these messages gone now? Super. Cool, guys. You're following it. Nice. So here, stop polling, and I'll come back to the queues. And this is 5 is in my second queue. This guy, this 5 should go on top. Do you see that here? So these are all the problematic messages that you have it in the queue, and developers will go and get that messages. They will process that messages, and they'll troubleshoot what's the problem there. So here, purge. You can subscribe to the SNS topic. You can set up any Lambda functions. Purge meaning you will delete the messages manually. So if I select and if I purge it, purge meaning deleting the messages. Purge meaning deleting the messages. It's deleted. Do you see anything else on the queue, guys? Do you see anything else on the queue? It's nothing. So here, this is about the queues. What you need to do as an what you will get it on the certification question is definitely this will not miss. The questions will not miss from this paint. Whatever the question that you will get it in the solution architect related to SQS is from this paint only. If you understood this paint from SQS point of view, it is clear for the certification. And also you understood like why this is used for, where this is used for, and you can also need to propose to anyone. If someone is talking about the queues and concept, you should tell that, hey, in AWS we have a concept called SQS, and you can send the messages and receive the messages there. Let's take a photo. Done. Great. So what you have to do is you can give a try on how to create this queues. So it's very simple. And delete this. Nice. Cool. Great. So this is about this on the SQS on simple queue service, guys. And then we have something called DynamoDB also, which is a little bit not little bit. It's purely related to the developer, and we'll see the DynamoDB in our next class. Can you give me the final CC for today on this topic? Thanks. Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you on Monday with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Good night. And have a nice Sunday too.